If the moon's gravity controls tides, then why don't inland lakes react too? Think about it. If gravity can drag billions of tons of seawater, shouldn't at least one inland lake ripple in rhythm with the moon? They say it's because oceans are bigger, but the Great Lakes hold trillions of gallons of water. That's not small. If the moon can move the Pacific, why can't it make Lake Superior breathe? Just a little? Not even a tiny tide? Some say it's too small to notice. But wait, the moon is almost 400,000 kilometers away. If its pull can travel that far through space, shouldn't it still tug a lake sitting right here on Earth? It's like saying a magnet can lift a car from across the street, but can't move a spoon in your hand. Does that make sense? Now, I'm not saying anyone's lying, but something about that story feels off. Maybe tides aren't just about the moon. Maybe something else is in play, something local. Air pressure, energy fields, or even how the Earth itself moves and breathes. What if the oceans are reacting to a rhythm we haven't fully understood yet? Because if gravity worked the same everywhere, the pattern should be clear, consistent, predictable. Yet the lakes stay silent while oceans rise and fall. So maybe the real question isn't why don't lakes react? Maybe it's what else could be causing the tides we see. Next time you stand by a calm lake under the moonlight, just listen. Is that stillness proof of balance? Or proof that we're missing something bigger? Because once you start asking questions like this, you stop seeing the world the same way. Comment what you think makes the tides move. Share this with someone who loves real questions. Follow for more mysteries science hasn't fully solved. And, just to be clear, this video is for entertainment purposes.
There's only 47 astronauts in the entire world. That's what they tell us. Why do you think that number is so small? It's simple, it's because they don't exist. Space travel is not real, and we've never been to the moon. And the main concern people have with that is that how do all these space agencies and scientists and people around the world, how do they all keep this lie going? And how do they all agree that let's lie to the public? And it's actually really simple. It's the fact that they don't exist. All of these space agencies and scientists that you only see on a screen, by the way, they have never been real. They have been AI this entire time. That's how they keep the lie going. It's pretty easy to keep a secret and keep a lie going when you're not even real. All these scientists and these famous names you've heard of before, they are all AI.
We're on the same page that none of these people went to space, right? And I'll do you one better. We're on the same page that no human ever in the history of humanity has ever been to space. We've never been to the moon, and we certainly have not sent rovers to Mars. Why? Because there's a firmament above the Earth, and the Earth is flat. This space flight, do y'all really think Katy Perry is on this rocket? Do you think Bezos put his fiance on this capsule? This capsule is free falling right now. And it's free falling, and the chutes come out at 6,000 feet. That's a little over a mile for it to slow down from a free fall. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? And this landing right here, let me tell you what. The commentators were like, oh, it's a soft landing, even though it looks like a hard landing. Look at this. Look at that landing. That right there. Hold on. Yeah, okay, soft landing. All right. Look at that.
I think it's time that we're allowed to suggest that these star forts are possibly connected to each other and possibly connected with the stars. And also, they could possibly be connected to a natural energy grid. They're all over the world. In the 1700s, do you think that this slave-leading star fort master builder of South America took his cell phone out and discussed his star fort design with the master builder of the Lerwick Fortress in Scotland, located 5,000 miles away? This one was supposedly built in the 1600s, yet they tell us little is known about the original structure. They say they don't know about it because we did not build this, saying this was for another war. Just totally normal to think that everyone around the world in the 1600s and 1700s, first reaction to having an enemy is to build the exact same structure of a star fort all over the world, thousands and thousands of miles away from each other, across massive oceans. Everyone just knew what to do and how to get it done, and built them with perfection and ease, with prisoners or slaves. And we're told that they don't have power tools. Where do the materials come from? They don't mention any of this. It is incredibly clear that the past civilization had a way to communicate with each other throughout the world. no phones, 5,000 miles away from each other, during a time period of no light bulbs, supposedly. They used their slaves and accidentally constructed the exact same structure all over the world for a battle that never happens. I'm all done being lied to. This narrative is so ridiculous and doesn't make any logical sense.
Where is the end of the world if it's flat? I mean, if it's truly a globe, there should be no end, right? Just endless curvature. So why do so many explorers, pilots, and even satellites seem to stop at certain boundaries? And why do flight paths avoid the far south? Why is Antarctica supposedly just a frozen desert, guarded by international treaties no regular citizen can cross? You ever wonder why that is? Old explorers described massive ice cliffs stretching as far as the eye can see. Could that be the so-called edge? Or maybe it's not an edge at all, but a barrier, a limit, a place we're not meant to go. Here's the kicker. The Antarctic Treaty, signed by over 50 nations, forbids civilians from independent exploration there. Isn't that odd? At the very bottom of the world, no tourists, no journalists, no private missions allowed. And yet, it's supposedly the least interesting place on Earth? Come on. What if beyond that ice wall there's more? More land, more oceans, maybe even another sun. Now, whether you think that sounds crazy or genius, one thing's for sure, something doesn't add up. If the Earth truly has no edge, why is one part of it off limits to everyone on it? Could the end of the world just be a beginning we're never shown? Because maybe the real edge isn't out there. It's the limit of what we're allowed to question. So tell me, if there is an edge, what do you think is beyond it? Comment ice wall if you want to see the next part. Because what's hidden beyond that ice might change everything. And share this video before someone decides it shouldn't be seen. This video is for entertainment purposes.
One advantage with the airships is the fact that you wouldn't need a runway. You know, they could dock these things, and that's why people start to look at some of these old buildings and some of these towers. Were they meant for docking an airship, and then they would get into the building from the ship? What they try to show you with modern blimps is you have this big old balloon thing, and then you have like this tiny little carriage under it. Most of the structure of the blimp is just where gas is at. And then you have like a tiny little cockpit that everyone rides in. But if you see like the diagrams of these old airships, you could move all in and out of there. You can imagine would be like a floating cruise ship. So as soon as you get on, you kick your feet up, you go get something to eat, and you go hang out and have a cocktail if that's your deal, and then you can kind of hang out and look out the window and see all the cool stuff. It seems like a more elegant, more sophisticated way to travel. I would be all about that life. Yeah, because you imagine if you were just going, okay, we're going to fly across America, go from New York to LA, and you're not in a rush because part of the journey is actually, this is fun.
Yeah.
But traveling's not like that today. But we're the advanced ones.